Hey guys, what's up? This is Fula here with another live video. Shout outs to the whole LDBC. So again, I have to go in on this bum. He keeps on showing himself out to be a bum every time he steps foot on a live channel. Again, he every time he like talks, every time he goes on live, he makes himself out to be a bigger idiot than we thought he was. You know, and so a series of events, have transpired that have basically shown all his cards that we knew he already had, but tried to hide them so many times. Um, the My intention of this live is to show people basically the difference between actual nation building and the difference between being inside a place where they claim they're nation building, where they claim they're actually doing these things, but really they're just sitting around being idiots and being stupid, basically, and not being productive at all. Basically, their whole, you might as well, instead of calling them like Carbon Nation or whatever the case may be, you might as well call them YouTube Nation or Instagram Nation, because all they do all day is sit around YouTube and sit around Instagram, not doing anything or not making anything happen. And recently the bum had a live. I don't even want to refer him to a boy. I'm just going to refer him to Nature Bum. Um, Nature Bum had a live, and what he was doing is he had like I guess like a eulogy or something like that, where his members were saying, like, giving appreciation to one another. But then there they are sitting on the floor looking like refugees, and you have to wonder to yourself, okay, what part of the program is this? What part of the program um, will this provide benefit in? And again, like, how can we really take this dude serious? And how can his followers really call him a master teacher when he doesn't teach anything? Like, honestly, what does he teach? Give me one thing he teaches that's productive to your life besides um knowing what not to do. That's the thing which he teaches that's productive, is doing things, is him showing you what to stay away from, staying away from herpes, staying away from spreading herpes, um, also staying away from lying about having herpes, and also staying away from basically being an oppressive tyrant who doesn't give anybody free will, and basically speaks for other people and does not let people speak for themselves. That's what the positive things that come out from him. Now, again, fortunate enough to have a text from my forefather who left these jewels behind. And we're going to compare their idea of leadership and their idea of nation building with Nature Boy's concept of leadership and nation building. This will probably be a short live, so let's just get right into it. It's kind of crazy that this dude does not really care about anything or anybody, and people have been trying to give him advice, trying to uh set him right, but he doesn't want to listen. He really doesn't. So we just have to get into it, basically. Okay. Okay. So in my dialect, we call a leader basically, there's different words, but let's just say we call them lambe. So a lambe is someone who's a leader. He's the guy in charge. He's the head honcho. Usually he's under, like, he basically runs the village. Okay. And in order for him to be in that position, he has to, like, fulfill um fulfill some things basically. And so the thing is let's see. The first thing is that in his land, he has to implement worldly rights. Part of worldly rights is freedom. Part of worldly rights is expression. Part of worldly rights is creativity. Part of worldly rights is cultivation of different skills. Do we see any of this with Nature Boy and his camp? Or do we just see them standing aimlessly around, looking up at him like they're staring, like they're deers in headlights, waiting for him to give approval on something, basically? So that disqualifies him as a leader. That's the first thing. He's not a leader. Another thing is commanding all that is good and forbidding all that's evil. Nature Boy hasn't um, commanded anything that's good, and he's allowed a lot of evil. Let's just see all the evil he has allowed. Let's just see the herpes, the bad diet, which is basically based on potatoes and avocados only, um, nudity, which has nothing to do with being natural, but it's just basically sexually charged. Has nothing to do with being in nature. It has to do with being in lust. And also the simple fact that, oppression, that's one thing that he allows because he oppresses all of them. And so I can't really think of anything that he has commanded which is good. So that disqualifies him from that. Okay. Okay. One of the duties that's obligatory upon the Lammy is that he has to basically preserve the way of life of a people, you know, and that way of life has to be one that is healthy, that, basically allows them to be happy and allows them to prosper. All of the members of Carbon Nation look sapped up, sick, and not prospering at all. So that disqualifies him from that as well. Also, one thing that he doesn't do is basically nobody should speak about something in which they have no knowledge of. That's a sign of leadership when you go and seek help from someone who may be more familiar with the thing that you are trying to speak of or trying to get across to people. Nature Boy does not do that. Nature Boy swears that he can read and do astrology. And I'm going to come back to this. Nature Boy swears that he knows every single thing under the sun in regards to being on quote unquote higher vibrations, which when he really doesn't know shit. He hasn't taught shit. So um, he just has people basically in a whirlwind, making him thinking that he's actually teaching something. And he talks about what he's done positive or whatever the case may be, or has he done anything positive? No, you haven't done anything positive, bro. You talk about being vegans and stuff like that. Everybody before you talked about vegan, people were already on vegan. You're not saying anything new. Yeah, I don't even think you are vegan. Um, okay, one of the things that's obligatory upon a leader in the village, and we call our village Sudu. Sudu or Woro, that means you have like a village or community. There's different words for village and community. But one thing is about having a village or a community. One thing that you have to do is you have to alter the reprehensive deeds. And one of those reprehensive deeds are people who claim that they know something of knowledge from the unseen by means of like soothsaying, by means of stars, by means of like astrology, like what Nature Boy is doing. He has no knowledge in this. He has no like he has no permission to do this basically, but he's doing it anyway, you know? In fact, if you did this, if you were false in doing this, if you were not sound in doing this thing, basically in traditional African society, in autonomous African nation, that um that basically it would be very 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 steep punishment. Basically you would get killed. You would be killed for doing this, you know. So Nature Boy trying to be a sorcerer and a soothsayer, um reading astrological signs with no knowledge of astrological signs and just reading it from an iPhone app. If he was in like my tribe society, his ass would get killed, you know, no hesitation. So he needs to stop doing that, you know, when he has no knowledge of it, you know, or in pretending to have knowledge of such things when he absolutely doesn't know crap about it. Okay. Another thing that he needs to do in order to be considered a leader, um, he needs to which one call it? He needs to basically, if he claimed like what he's doing right now, because he claimed that he had the cure for herpes. He had the cure for HIV or whatever the case may be. He said he had the cure. If he claimed to do this or claimed that he, you know, could cure these things and it not be the case, that calls for death as well, you know. That's just the reality. Let's um let's go into some more stuff. Okay. This is a heavy one right here. One of the duties of a lembe is that he has to like keep things balanced and he has to keep women safe and protected. So basically, freeborn women should not be showing their private parts, and also men and women like interacting with each other like without having some sort of like bond with each other, without um being somehow connected basically. um that's not to be done either. And the reason why that is because you see this with Nature Boy. You see what kind of things cause this cause. Here you are bringing people coming, right? You have people coming to that camp, right? They don't know each other from nil. You don't know their history. You don't know what they're capable of. You don't know what they may do. Here you have some guys who have claimed on camera that they had herpes, some guys who have claimed on camera that they have experimented and swung both ways. Here are guys that you have on camera who have said they have messed around and did pedophilia, and you're bringing them under one roof with women, and you're leaving the women like not dressed and like basically nude. Do you know what they're capable of? Did you ever think about this before you bring people in there, you dumb Negro? Do you ever think about doing background checks on people, Negro? No, I guess not. You know, you can cause all kinds of problems doing that. So that disqualifies you as a leader as well, bro. And so let's go into it again. Okay, and this is very, very serious because we saw this in live streams and we see this with him every single time he sees a female. You know, when you free mix with men and women, right? And you're uncovering their private parts like he's doing, when men and women are walking around together without no clothes on, basically, as he says he does, you know, a true leader would prevent all of those things, okay? And he would appoint people to try to keep that from happening, you know. In fact, what this is doing is you're showing good regard for their well-being, and it restricts the actions of offenders, you know, when corruption has spread in the land. Those women are really in danger over there, bro. Like any one of those dudes can snap, okay? Any one of those dudes can just one day decide and maybe have decided, and we don't know about it, have decided to just walk up on the women and start filling them up or start doing what they wanted with him. Because we know that's what Nature Boy likes. You know, he sees a woman and then therefore he just pounces on her, you know, even if it means taking her from another person, you know. So this right here, you know, it, and a woman should be removed from places which are suspicious. That place is suspicious, okay? It's beyond suspicious. They broadcast their suspicion on YouTube and Instagram. What more proof do you need? You know? And this is another thing. If let's say if Nature Boy was in a sudo, like in a traditional sudo, if Nature Boy was in a traditional sudo and he was entering into homes and gazing at women, what would happen with him is he would be thrown into prison, bro, because we regard our women that highly, you know. We really value our women folk, bro, and that's just it, you know. And so what will happen is basically um what will happen to him after that, he would basically be let me see real quick. He would be thrown in jail if he were to do that, you know, because what he's doing is spreading corruption, you know, and also, you know, he's making people accustomed to evil by doing that, you know. And again, he's bringing harm to other people as well. You know, so what I'm saying is that that dude is not a leader. That dude is nothing but a charlatan. That dude is a manipulator. That dude is not that dude is not the answer. And I saw on the Young Pharaoh live, he's like, what are you gonna do to lead the people or whatever? Ask yourself that, bro, because you're not doing nothing to lead the people. You're doing that, you're leading people astray, actually. You're not leading nobody, you're leading people astray. That's just the bottom line. And now let's go ahead and look into something else that I want to touch on. Okay, let's see. Basically, one thing is that that he doesn't do is he doesn't even do inheritance right. You know, we know what happens with inheritance. He took someone's inheritance and basically used it all. He didn't use it on nobody. He used it on basically himself. He did not use it in a constructive way, which would add to his quote unquote nation. You know, he didn't do it. He really did not. He really did not really honor that. You know. And I'm just gonna close off with a poem, basically, that's on here, and just go into and these are just these are just what I want to say what a leader would be doing. You know, this is what a leader would be busying himself with if he was a true leader and if he was building a true nation. You know, you know, again, I think I said this in the last one before. Trade would be booming. you know. He would be trading with the locals, you know. He would be actually growing crops, doing agriculture, you know. He would be honest in all his transactions. He wouldn't be on no corrupted stuff like he is right now. Um and basically he would also he would basically also make others like do things like to earn their keep, like train people to do different kinds of trades, do different kinds of skills or something like that, you know. But again, he's not straightforward. um the thing is that's sad too is he doesn't even know how to, like, if he really wanted, like, let's just take a scenario. Let's just say they didn't have no food. Let's just say that the food was scarce, or for whatever reason they didn't have no food. Do you think that that dude would actually know how to hunt? Like, if the need may be to hunt, do you actually think he would actually know how to hunt? I seriously doubt it. I really doubt it. I don't think he's capable of hunting, whether it be by land or by sea. And so, again, he's not he's not a leader, bro. He's not a nation builder. I don't know why you call it Carbon Nation. It's not a nation. He needs to call it like Carbon Room or something, or Carbon Tents, because that's literally what he does all day, is sit in tents or be in rooms. So I just want to go live to explain, like, basically how he's so far away from nation building, so far away from leadership that it's not even funny. But yet, some people are still following him. Some people are still donating. Some people are actually changing their name to Christ like idiots. But that's neither here nor there. You know, you can only help so many people. You know, some people don't want to be helped. That's just the bottom line. But the next one, the next live I do on this bum and his set of bums will be about, will be refuting his theories on race, you know, because we know he has twisted theories on race as well. And I'll be refuting him on that. But until then, I'm off until the next one. I hope whoever does listen to this finds some benefit. And yes, Njara.